dramatic, meaningful, something that happened at the end of a long story, not in a broken school hallway that smelled like dust and old paint, while something inhuman scraped its claws along the walls looking for you. Your heart beat so loud you were certain it would give away your position, Megumi shouting for you to run while you stood frozen, because running meant leaving others behind, and that was something your grandfather told you never to do. Help people, he said, even if it kills you, especially if it kills you. And now those words pressed down on you harder than the terror closing in from every direction. The curse emerged from the shadows like a nightmare, forcing itself into reality. Too many limbs, too many eyes, a grin stitched across a face that should not exist, the air itself rotting around it. And you knew with absolute clarity that you could not win, not as you were, not as a normal human who had never asked to step into a world where monsters were born from fear. Megumi screamed again, telling you to stay back, telling you this was his fight. But you saw the way he struggled, the way his movement slowed, the way the creature adapted faster than he could react, and you realized he was going to die right here, right now, because you hesitated, because you chose safety over action, because you were still pretending you could return to a normal life after seeing what existed in the dark. Your eyes fell on the object he tried to keep away from you, the finger wrapped in cloth, pulsing with a sickening presence that made your skin crawl even from across the room. He told you not to touch it, that it would kill you instantly, that it was a cursed object beyond anything you could imagine. And in that moment, the decision stopped feeling like a choice, because dying meant at least you tried, but living with the knowledge that you let someone die when you could have done something was a weight you would never escape, so you grabbed it, ignoring the warning, ignoring the horror in his voice, ignoring the part of your mind screaming that this was a mistake you could not undo, and you swallowed it. The taste was wrong, ancient, like biting into something that had no right to exist in the present. Pain detonated through your body before you even hit the ground, muscles locking, vision fracturing into shards of red and black as something vast and furious awakened inside you. A presence so overwhelming, it felt like your soul was being crushed under the weight of it. Laughter echoed in your skull, deep, delighted, predatory, as if a king had finally been freed from a prison built of flesh. Your body moved without your permission, standing, straightening, smiling in a way that was not yours. The curse spoke through your mouth, mocking, amused, savoring the terror radiating from everyone around you. And you watched helplessly from somewhere deep inside your own consciousness as the monster you unleashed took its first breath in centuries. Buildings cracked, the ground buckled, reality bending under the sheer pressure of its existence. And you realized too late that you had not saved anyone. You had simply traded one disaster for another until something inside you snapped. A refusal to disappear, to become just another victim swallowed by forces you did not understand. You fought back, clawing your way toward the surface of your own body, screaming without sound as you forced the curse down into the darkness where it belonged. Until suddenly you were back, gasping, trembling, staring at your hands as if they belonged to a stranger, the monster's voice still echoing in your head, promising that this was only the beginning, that you were now nothing more than a cage for something that would one day break free. And as you collapsed to your knees surrounded by destruction, you understood the truth that would define the rest of your life, that you did not become stronger by swallowing that finger. You became a ticking bomb, a weapon aimed at everything you cared about. And the worst part was knowing you would do it again if it meant saving someone else, because that was the kind of person you chose to be, even if it destroyed you. They don't celebrate you for surviving. They don't call you brave. They don't even pretend you are safe to be around, because the moment you swallowed that finger, your life stopped belonging to you and became a calculation. Others would eventually decide how to end. Execution postponed only because you are useful, because the thing inside you can be controlled long enough to hunt down the rest of itself. A living coffin carrying the King of Curses piece by piece toward his own resurrection. Training begins immediately. Not to make you strong, but to make you survivable. To teach you how to fight while knowing that at any second the monster inside could tear through your will like paper. Missions come fast and brutal. Abandoned buildings thick with the residue of fear, tunnels crawling with malformed creatures born from hatred so dense it feels like breathing poison. You throw yourself into each fight with reckless intensity because slowing down means thinking, and thinking means remembering. That every victory brings you closer to the day they will kill you once your usefulness ends. The first time you watch a classmate die, you feel something in your chest collapse inward. The sound of their body hitting the ground echoing louder than the curse's laughter, guilt surging through you like a second heartbeat because you were there. You were strong enough to act, and still it wasn't enough. Rage takes over, raw and blinding. You charge the enemy with no plan beyond making it stop moving, blows landing again and again until your fists split open, bones cracking, vision flickering as pain and exhaustion blur together, and then the voice returns, smooth, amused, offering relief, offering power, offering a way to end the fight instantly if you just step aside and let it take control. The temptation is terrifying, not because it sounds appealing, but because it sounds easy. Because the idea of not carrying the responsibility anymore feels like sinking into darkness after struggling to stay afloat for too long. For a split second you hesitate, and that is all it needs. The world goes red as your body moves on its own again. Strength exploding through your limbs, the curse reveling in destruction, savoring every scream, every impact, every drop of blood, until suddenly it stops, releasing control back to you like a cat dropping a half-dead mouse at your feet, reminding you how fragile your grip on yourself truly is. You stand there shaking, surrounded by wreckage that could have included your friends, your teachers, innocent people who trusted you to keep the monster contained, and the realization hits harder than any physical blow, that this is not a battle you can win permanently, only a delay, a fragile stalemate that will eventually collapse. That no matter how hard you fight, how strong you become, how many people you save, the end of your story has already been written. Execution after the final finger is consumed. Death not as punishment, but as necessity. And the worst part is that you accept it. Because if your life can buy others more time, then maybe it has meaning. Maybe swallowing this curse was not just a mistake, but a sacrifice you chose to carry to the end. Even if it means walking toward your own execution with a smile so the people you saved don't have to watch you break. By the time you understand that death is not the worst outcome anymore, you have already watched too many people disappear to believe survival was ever the goal. The battlefield is chaos. Curses tearing through the city like living disasters, civilians screaming, buildings collapsing in slow-motion clouds of dust and fire, your friends fighting on the edge of exhaustion. While something far stronger than anything you have faced before stands at the center of it all like a king surveying a ruined kingdom, the air warps around its presence, heavy, suffocating, making each breath feel stolen. You step forward because no one else can, because that has become your role, the one who walks into the nightmare first, the one who absorbs the damage so others don't have to. Pain already lacing through your muscles as you push past the limits of what your body should endure. The curse inside you stirring with anticipation, delighted by the scale of destruction. Whispering promises of victory if you just stop resisting, if you stop pretending you are anything more than a vessel for its will. But you don't answer it this time. Not with fear, not with anger, but with something colder. Acceptance. Because you finally understand that your life was never meant to be long, only meaningful. You launch yourself into the fight with everything you have left, fists colliding with something that feels like striking a mountain, shockwaves rippling through the ground, bones cracking, vision flashing white as pain screams through your nervous system, yet you keep moving. Every strike a refusal to give in, every breath a declaration that you are still here, still fighting, still choosing to stand even when every instinct tells you to collapse. The enemy adapts, evolves, countering your attacks with terrifying precision, driving you backward step by step until the realization settles in that you cannot win this alone. That even with the power you carry, you are still human at the core, fragile, temporary, replaceable. And that is when the voice inside you laughs again, offering the same deal as always. Surrender control and it will destroy everything in front of you, end the fight instantly, guarantee victory at the cost of whatever remains of your humanity. And for the first time, you don't refuse outright. You consider it, not because you want power, but because you are tired of watching others suffer for your limitations. You remember your grandfather's words, your classmates' faces, the people who trusted you to keep going, and you make a decision that terrifies even the monster inside you. You don't surrender to it. You don't suppress it. You force it to fight with you, bending its power to your will through sheer stubborn refusal to disappear. The impact when you strike together shatters the battlefield, light and darkness colliding in a storm of energy that rips through the enemy's defenses, driving it back, forcing it to acknowledge you not as prey but as a threat. And in that moment of clarity, you understand that strength was never about overwhelming force. It was about the refusal to stop caring even when the cost becomes unbearable. The final blow lands with everything you have left, body breaking, vision fading, the world collapsing into silence as the enemy falls, dissolving into fragments that scatter like ash in the wind. You drop to your knees, hands trembling, unsure if you are still alive or just not dead yet. The curse inside you quiet for once, watching, waiting. And as the first rays of sunlight break through the smoke, you feel an unexpected calm settle over you. Not relief, not triumph, just acceptance. Because you know this is only another step toward the inevitable end you chose the day you swallowed that finger. Execution, sacrifice, whatever form it takes. And strangely, you are no longer afraid, because if dying is the price for the lives you saved, then it is a price you are willing to pay. You stand slowly, ignoring the pain, ignoring the exhaustion, ready to keep moving forward until the moment comes when you can't. Because that is what it means to be Yuji Itadori. Not the strongest, not the most important, just the one who keeps fighting even when the story guarantees he will not be the one who survives it.